Okay. Now in this data, I'll just stick with one data set, A Jadeja data set. Right. Now I have a requirement that any of the records where runs is less than some 20, delete them. Delete the whole record. Right, wherever the runs is less than 20, you delete. Otherwise, you keep it and check for the next one. That is so which means the output of it, all these, if it is blank, also delete. Right, if it is blank, also delete, and even if it is less than 20, also delete. So only those where he has scored more than 20 should be retained in this data for this player. I'll only work on one sheet. So delete is what is my objective. Okay, so I'll create one more sub, probably in a new thing. So I'll create a sub as delete rows. That is what I create. Right, and here I'll select sheets A Jadeja dot select. Right, I mean we can do it again for all the sheets also, but yeah, if I do it for one, again we know how to do it for all as a part of that loop. Now I will start with this checking for the runs. Right, so first of all I'll have to count how many records are there totally. Correct, how many records are there. So I'll define a few variables. Dim total records as integer. Right, dim I as integer, which is more like a looping variable. So the total records, I can get total records equal to worksheet function dot count A, right, of the A column. So it will give me how many are there of the A column. So what I will do is, for I equal to 1 to total records. Next. Right. Now I need to know what is the cell value. So if cells I comma 2, 2 comma 2, 1 comma 2, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 2 is less than 20, then if cells I comma 2 is less than 20, then I am putting an end if. Then what is that we have to do? Cells, that row corresponding to that cells I comma 2, I have to delete. So cells I comma 2 dot entire row, that is what is the active cell, or probably I'll say cells I comma 2 dot select. So then it becomes the active cell dot entire row dot delete. Now when I have deleted, when I am deleting, actually the total records, see when I delete, so let's say this is the first one. When I delete this record, now this will become the first one. Right? When I delete, this will become the first one. So I actually should not change. I is still at 1 only. It cannot go to 2. Right? So probably I'll say here I equal to I minus 1. Let it reduce by 1. So that when I do next, it will again go to 1 or something. Right? Then even the count should come down. The total records also should come down when one record is deleted. Right? So I'll say total records is equal to total records minus 1, because it will also get reduced by 1. But if it is not greater than, if it is greater than 20, I won't do anything. So I'll move to the next. Right? Let's try this out. I think here it should give an error, but let's see. Looks like it has executed. No. What has happened? We'll do the debug part. So the total records are worksheet function count A A column. The count is giving only 1. Total record, count A, I'm sorry. Count A, range has to be given. Range of A column. Alright, you cannot give it just like a simple Excel stuff. Range of A column. Now let's try out. 194 records. Why did it come here? Oh, the function is creating a problem here. So let's do this on a separate sheet, not on AZAsia, because there we have used that function, the nsum function. That is getting affected because we are deleting the data here. So we'll do it on probably we'll do it on R Dravid. So instead of AZAsia.select, we'll say R Dravid.select. You see? So this way, where you can get this kind of a setup. I mean, a simple macro is solving all your stuff. Alright, it is executing those many times. That's all right. As long as our solution is met, fair enough. Even if it takes us slightly, we can think through that logic on how it can eliminate. But still, as long as it can solve our purpose, that is more and more sufficient for us. What is happening? Never ending. This I equal to I minus 1, because that is getting reduced. Currently, what is this I? 185. So cells 185.2 is less than 20. So that's where it is looping in that 185 only. So we have to put one more thing, that if that is, no, but I cannot put it as blank also. So if this is less than 20, so at least it is giving me only, it has removed all those which are less than 20, right? Until there is no problem. But after that it has been looping up. So for that, so what I should do is, we have to put one rule saying if the name of the player is blank, right? If this is blank, just get out of it. It's like the record is over. So here what I'll do is, if cells I comma 1 not equal to blank, then do all this, right? Only if it is not equal to blank, do all this. Otherwise, simply get out. I'll put this rule so that let's see that it will not get stuck, right? Let's try executing it again now. It got executed. So probably we'll try one more. Right? it got executed, right? So in these number of matches, this guy has scored more than 50 and more than 20, right? So that way, probably I can have my own set of requirements to delete, or probably if I want to insert a data, insert one additional row for every row. For every row, insert one additional row, right? It's not that easy a process. If you see manually, if you think of it, between every row I have to insert one row means it's not that easy. Now let's see through this process itself. So I'll say sub insert rows, right? Where I am again saying dim record count or total record, whatever, record count as integer. I have to count how many records are there, right? I'll count how many records are there for a dim I as integer, the incrementer, right? For I equal to 1 to record count, next, right? Cells I comma 1 dot select active cell dot entire row dot insert. With that active cell, insert an entire row. So what is happening manually if I look at it? So this cell, I'll say entire row means this becomes this, and it does an insert like this. So actually this becomes now I should not look at this one now. I should go to this one. So instead of 1, it should become 3. It should not go to 2 anymore. It should go to 3. Then insert, then it should go to 5. So that's where probably, yeah, if it has to go double, 1, 3, 5, 7, I mean not the continuous thing, I can say this as step 2. Step 2 is with an increment of 2, you go. First initially it starts with 1, then with 3, then with 5, and something like that. And probably it has to go 2 times the record count, because I have to insert one additional row every time, right? So let's try this out now. This should not be there for us. This is our data, but this has to be on, yeah, on any sheet let it be there. On active sheet let it do. No? Active sheet dot record count. Oh, where is the record count actually? There is no way, we did not find the record count at all. So record count is equal to, I'll use that count A right? Worksheet function dot count a range a colon a. Let's see what it is doing. Yeah, it has inserted. It has inserted one blank row in between each of the rows. So probably for some purpose, if you require one additional row for each of the data, you can easily do it. Manually, it's not that easy a process to do all these things. Right? Like that, you can think of as many examples as possible where you can do. See, if you have to do it manually, yeah, you know how to do it once. Right? But if it has to be done for almost all the data, almost a lot of times, a manuality is going to be a tough stuff. So these kind of things can be handled much effectively using the VBA code. Right?